Well, I've got something like logging. I've got an SLA with a vendor. I'm going to get a foundational model that has an SLA, for instance, that businesses love to manage risk that way. And so it takes the complex and makes it simple and puts it in a term that our stakeholders can understand. And that's really the power of the practice that we've developed. And, it does make the sometimes boring governance stuff come alive. And you can see why I get excited about it because we help them get from where they are to they want to be faster.
Well, I like it because in this conversation and everything, learning from both of you is the fact that it feels like you're taking some really complex and nebulous stuff and giving us some very isolated, actionable things that say, it's not this hard. Here's the 12 major harms, that you need to be aware of. They don't all necessarily apply to you, but many will. And what's your approach to each one of these? Should this, befall you? How do you prevent it? How do you deal with it if it happens? That type of thing. Can't you see the threat landscape kind of shifting here as we get better at maybe publishing the controls as we're also trying to learn how to be aware that they're there and how to use them?
The whole landscape is something we're not quite used to, still
Yeah.
not quite used to it. The vendors in that space are still playing catch up as well. There's still, I mean, trust me, there's 65, 70% of securing those environments is traditional stuff. There's identity and all sorts of things that are part of that we've been doing for a long time. But the models throw another variable into there, especially LLMs. The vendors that I work with, we work with a lot of red teaming vendors that specialize in red teaming LLMs, and they say there's not a single one in the world that they can't jailbreak, that they can't make do something
Yeah.
it shouldn't do or get data from it that they shouldn't be getting from it. We made LLMs, we made AI very human-like, and that has always been the low-hanging fruit for bad actors. And it it is now with LLMs. They're so human-like. They take so many inputs. They're just kind of easy to fool ultimately
Yeah.
when you really break it down. You're trying to bypass them. That complexity is easy for attackers to hide in and also manipulate. So that's kind of what's different. I mean, I think other threats are close to traditional threats, but really not like what we've had before. At least not in I guess at scale the way they're doing it now. But supply chain attacks are a big deal. Anything that feeds into these AIs, the MLOps development pipeline is in parallel with the traditional software development pipeline. You got to secure both of those. But if you affect the pipeline leading to an AI, you might be affecting the pipeline that leads to lots of AIs. It could be the source of the stream for many things. Supply chain attacks are a little different than what we're used to. I think data access control is another big challenge here in these environments. It makes them a little bit unique because you're basically transforming the data to be used with the AI. So are the access controls going with that data as it's transformed into these vector databases, whatever you're using to feed the AI, or are they not?